I identify with the unstable arts now known as glitch art.
All my work sort of focuses on digital culture and digital literacy and digital politics.
I understand glitch in terms of the leveraging of technology.
It can be a very political process in the way that it undermines interfaces and assumptions.
A system being struck by lightning is a glitch.
But it's rusty, it's grimy, it's like incredibly dark. It's
so loud and bright and just appalling to a certain extent.
Part of dirty media is kind of moving through a technological landscape, but via a certain lifestyle. And the people in that dirty media group, as it stands now, subscribe to a kind of noisy or glitchy lifestyle.
I would say that people can define glitch art. People do try to define glitch art, but glitch art also resists definition. So people try not to define glitch art.
Yeah, there's just these different actors in glitch art, like the computer, the perceiver, the software, the input, the maker, and all these factors have a part in what constitutes the final work of glitch.
So glitch is a transient error in an electronic system when it's being used at NASA. Later on, for the glitch artist, it's a misbehavior, and in particular, a misbehavior that you can replicate and then play around with, modify.
I use glitches, or I utilize or provoke glitches in my work, and to me, a glitch is a moment where you're snapped out of the system that you're participating in. So if you're watching this video, right, and then something, some sort of thing happens, you're not thinking about the video anymore. You're thinking like, is my network connection weird? Is this video messed up? You're thinking about the technology of the video.
Like, we're inside the net. Like, we're actually actively making gestures and living lives inside this box or inside this electronic network. And I think not only are you self-aware because you're looking at yourself, but you're looking at yourself in relationship to all these other things. And all of a sudden, because we're all in this sort of new territory, rules can be broken based on the level of skill that you have. We are also conscious that this box can really change our lives, and we react and act accordingly.
And so when we add art to that term, glitch art, I think that just means when artists intentionally leverage that moment of a glitch by either provoking or recontextualizing glitch it. And it's not so much a medium as it is a way of approaching media, because there's glitch artists who are performers and glitch artists who are video makers and musicians and textile artists and etc.
Nichts wird sich to change. Nothing is going to change. Mit diesen Sprachen, die arbitrary sind, alakasız ki alakas are but related, a little isolated, oh well, maybe not. So yeah, the enemy fragment inma vida.
You can even look at glitch within data and how it was a push against the Industrial Revolution. And a lot of artists were looking for ways to manipulate or expose a lot of the normative traditions in visual arts at that moment.
And I think you can draw a historical lineage from the early video artists of the 1960s and 70s, Nam June Paik and the Fluxus artists, and kind of radical political collectives like Radical Software and the Video Freaks. Artists like Dara Birnbaum, who were interested in finding alternative ways of using the new emerging video technologies. You can see that lineage from that very rich history to the contemporary Chicago dirty new media and the Chicago School of Glitch, as it's sometimes called.
When I was at the Art Institute that first year, Maggie Phillips, who was an instructor, professor or something in the teacher education department, had gotten some equipment and they'd used it in projects and such. And she showed me how to use it, and we played with it a few evenings, and then I proposed a couple of courses for the following year and got a few $1,000s together from the administration, and we launched the department then.
Well, I used to be a really dedicated sculptor. So I took a class with Paul Hertz, and that class was called Histories of New Media. And that was one of the first classes I took coming into SAIC. So in my head, I was like, oh great, this is gonna be all the like new sculptural materials that I'm gonna work with. And you know, I came into the class and we started talking about Marshall McLuhan and all this like computer art, and I was like, what is this? And you know, I didn't leave the class by some miracle, and then I got hooked.
There's this history of experimentation with damaging the media to some extent, or misusing it, if not outright abusing it. And I think you can consider other routes also in the ways in which systems get damaged historically, electronic systems in particular. I think it's also that Chicago had welcomed electronic media. So there was a strong interest in generative art at the School of the Art Institute. Who was it? Sonia Sheridan, who founded the department. And that involved taking apart photocopiers to see if one could separate the components. You know, don't have it fuse the toner, manipulate the toner and fuse it later, for example. So all kinds of experiments with the machinery itself.
Glitch art also has always been very community focused and very community oriented in terms of sharing and exchanging aesthetics and concepts and techniques. In the very late 1990s and the early 2000s, the community was very much online, existed very much on the internet, and the community into the early 2000s, like say 2005, was a small, committed, hardcore community in Chicago, but connected to an international community of people in other cities all over the world. And again, like Amsterdam and Mexico City in particular. And so since 2005 to the present moment, there were the gli.tc/H festivals. And those festivals drew an increasing number of people, and really very large numbers of people who came from all over the world who were super excited about glitch art. And those festivals took place in Chicago at different locations, but also importantly through the school and through people that graduated from the school, graduated from the department, teach at the school, teach in the department. So there's a very close relationship between them.
Howdy to you, Apple. Howdy to you, Apple computers, designed in California, assembled in China, and all the other folk that'll have a listen to and a look-see here to this YouTube video we're making. Now, this video you're seeing is highly edited, and I guarantee you that the original material is well documented in my personal data bank of this here problem that we got. But I realize there are other factors in the society that ain't so good at doing their part in this digital ecology. I'm also known as a customer of Apple computers, having recently bought a MacBook from you a couple of months ago.
Thanks for calling AppleCare. This call may be recorded.
I think a lot of issues I have with the world I'm living in stem from a misunderstanding of how technology works and how it affects us. And we've sort of handed the keys to this future to like a handful of white dudes living in California. And that's a very, it's a very dangerously small group of people to sort of hand the world to. And so I think the best way to sort of instigate a change in that conversation is to sort of boost literacy And my relationship with SAIC is sort of is one of the ways I come at that. I think artists have a great potential for getting people to think differently. And so teaching there is my way of sort of mobilizing a larger group of people to get people to think differently about their relationship to technology.
I think that the popularity of glitch art is in part due to the fact that glitch art is a way of acknowledging a kind of larger cultural collapse, a kind of larger cultural acknowledgement of breakdown, failure of systems that we know now to not be perfect in any way, but in fact to be always already broken, always already compromised. And pushing systems to this boundary point is a way of experimenting and playing with them to take them apart, to explode them, to have an exploded view where we can see different parts and components. And that is inherently a political act that also recognizes some political potential. But also, there are people very interested in glitch art because of a certain color palette, a certain range of formal properties. So we can't say that glitch art is explicitly political or explicitly formal. I think we can say that glitch art is explicitly unstable. I think we can say that it's always already compromised, and that's exciting, that there's a lot of potential for art making in there.